Hey guys, nice to meet you. I read something recently, something I wish I'd known when I was younger, so I decided to do something. Something I haven't done since I was a teenager, and that is upload a video to YouTube. So, welcome. My series is called You Can Learn a Lot from Old Books. So, about a year ago, I'm walking with a friend as we're going for drinks just after work. I mentioned how I wanted to learn how to draw so I can produce something that gives me a passive income. This starts a discussion between me and my new friend about the differences between active and passive income, and he mentions a book I should read. It is Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Fast forward a few months, I'm in a new city, in a bookstore, waiting on a paycheck that's due. I see three things I like, and I know I can't afford all of them that day. My three choices were Fire and Fury by Michael Wolff, Battle Royale, and the DVLA Driver Learner's Manual. Out of these books, two of them I know will be great reads, entertaining, and I knew the other one I needed because I needed to learn how to drive legally with a license. Then, in the corner of my eye, I see it. An obscure book from an obscure conversation from many months ago. So, I buy it. Now, I gotta say, it's a nice book with a decent amount of setup to understand how the author's perspective has developed over his career. I enjoyed it because it articulated some concepts I've always had in the back of my mind, and it was nice to see these concepts from a different perspective. It also gave me an insight into capitalism from the top to a medium perspective instead of from the bottom up. Now, what struck me first about Kiyosaki writing, for Kiyosaki, an asset is something, be it intellectual property, a business, or any real estate, that enhances your income, whereas a liability is something that increases your expenses. The goal of financial freedom being that the accumulation of the income of one's assets covers their expenses without the influence of actively participating in a job. Now, this is what related to my conversation with my friend from months ago. I wanted assets. I wanted income that is gained passively. I had none. Hence, I needed active income, or a job. My favorite term is that I am just over broke, or many times in my life, just broke. I would fall into the cash flow pattern of a poor person. The active participation and time I put into my job gives me a return in the form of a paycheck, this being the active income I mentioned earlier. Then this income has to go onto my expenses before I see my cash. The government will take its cut, as all governments do. Then the rest of my income goes on rent, food, transportation, debts, and clothes, with anything left over going into my savings or used to buy luxuries. Trust me, there's rarely any left over. No, that's fine for now. Actually, it's a bit shit, but I'm young, so it's okay. The common consensus now is that I take my degree and get a job, I work for experience, I get a better job, I pay my taxes, I save money, I buy a house, raise a family, retire, live on my retirement fund, and that equals life. Well, the standard life of the middle class, which is a good life to be honest. Yet, there is a dependence on active income, on a job that could be safe for now, but it's never guaranteed, and it is only to the needs of the employer that I will have a job. If I lost my job, I would have no money to my name. The house and car and all these things considered assets are worth money, but don't bring in any. If you don't pay your mortgage, the bank who helped you buy the house will take it using the home's value as collateral and reselling the home, most likely less than you paid for it, to cover the remaining mortgage. But a car's worth money, I hear you say. Yes, you spend money on that car, but the car just lost a third of its value the moment you drove it out of the dealership, and you have to pay to keep the car running to get to your job. This is why Kiyosaki stresses the understanding of assets and liability. The things most people consider assets are taking money out of their pocket until a debtor comes away to take it away for its remaining value, leading to the cash flow chart you will see now. Again, the job is the only source of income, and as the income goes up, so does one's expenses. Instead of your rent, you have to pay for your mortgage. Instead of public transport, you have to pay for your own car. And the rest goes either on luxuries and savings. The government will take a bigger cut from you as well. It's fair, you do earn more. If you do make it to retirement, and do remember that 20% of men don't, You just better hope you've been able to pay everything off and save enough money to live on. And do remember, if you're thinking about a state pension, the age of retirement is moving further and further away as you get closer. This leads to the last thing I would like to touch upon in this video. What I'm showing you now is Robert Kiyosaki's interpretation of the cash flow chart of a rich person. As you can see, a rich person has assets that put money into his pocket, but also liabilities that take money out. If done right, the income from these proper assets will cover a person's expenses and then some, so they can invest in more assets and increase their income, and this becomes an upward spiral. This is why rich people are getting richer, and with the right mindset, a little money can make a lot of money. Or as Kiyosaki puts it, make your money work hard for you instead of working hard for your money. Frankly, for me, I wish someone had told me this when I was much younger, but alas, I'm learning the basics of financial intelligence now. But as a young person, it's actually given me hope for my financial future, which has been looking bleak my entire life. I'm starting small, and I hope you will too.
Wish I'd have known.
I never thought I'd be so fragile.
You're not alone.
It didn't break before it's about to.
We've been here before.
I don't ever wanna change. I'm fragile. I don't ever.
Hey guys, thank you very much for taking the time to look at my video. It's my first, so it's going to have a lot of flaws. I'm thinking of making a different series of different things I read in books as I progress in my life. I do hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you next time.